When Gabe reached the turnoff onto his property, his dog, a yellow and brown mutt with one permanently bent ear, which lent the animal an air of perpetual curiosity, raced toward the loaded wagon, barking wildly and causing the horses to toss their heads and prance a little, though they were pretty used to Hector's tail-wagging, bright-eyed bombardments. As was his way, Hector leaped through the air like a circus performer and landed on the seat of the buckboard, scrabbling for purchase. Gabe steadied him with one arm, drew back on the reins with the other, as much to calm the horses as to let the dog settle alongside him. With a rueful sigh and a fragment of a smile, the best he could manage these days, he ruffled Hector's dusty head. Then he brought down the reins again, and the wagon rolled forward along the rutted way home. Cottonwoods lined the road on either side, their plentiful, pale leaves shimmering like silver coins in the midday sunshine. How Bonnie and Abigail would have loved to see the leaves dance like that. Abigail would laugh her little girl laugh and clap her tiny hands, bouncing with joy at the sight, while Bonnie beamed with delighted love. At the reminder of his late wife and daughter, both lost to influenza on the same terrible day, a little over 3 years back, fresh grief speared through Gabe, cold and narrow and sharp as the blade of a rapier. The past enfolded him like a shadow the way it often did. He'd been a soldier for just a few months, Gabe had, never even seen real action, let alone crossed the ocean to fight. He'd joined up, though, knowing he'd be drafted soon, and left home in the fall of 1915. As hard as it was to leave, he loved his country, what it stood for more than what it did, and personal duty required him to stand up for freedom wherever it was under threat, though he was under no illusion that America didn't have problems of its own that needed solving. So he went, even though it meant abandoning Bonnie and their unborn child. He wound up near Seattle in a U.S. Army training camp, and during a routine exercise, Gabe had been shot in his right leg when another soldier's rifle misfired, and he'd nearly lost the limb entirely once the infection set in. After he'd gone through several surgeries, recuperated the best he could, and managed to overcome the infection, he'd been sent back home to Silver Hills, Montana, with an honorable discharge and a marked limp. For him, the return had been bittersweet, both a blessing, because of Bonnie and Abigail, the child she was carrying at the time, and a source of profound regret. He knew war was ugly, and that he'd been spared a heap of bad memories, or even a gruesome death, but it bothered him that he'd had to leave the battle for other men to fight, men who loved their wives and families as much as he did, yet he had to leave them behind.